Hello, everyone. We have all heard the words introverted and extroverted. Do you know which one you are? Are you the social butterfly, the life of the party, or are you the deep thinker and the quiet wall eater? At least that's usually what people think of when we hear the words introverted and extroverted. But what if we didn't have to be limited by our personality type? What if we could be both? Because after all, we didn't choose which one we are, right? What if we were able to take the strengths of both extroversion and introversion and blend them together to be suitable for any type of situation? And that is what's known as ambiversion or being an ambivert. According to psychologists, most people do actually possess the qualities of both introversion and extroversion. It's just a matter of which one they tend to lean to. They might think that, oh, because I'm an introvert, I don't possess the qualities of an extrovert, so they act accordingly. And honestly, I wish I would have known this concept way back in the day because I used to be extremely introverted and I still am introverted, but now I'm able to do both better. I at the time I was definitely using it as a crutch. I would be like, "Oh, I'm introverted, so I'm just gonna avoid stepping out of my comfort zone," right? I would avoid social gatherings, big events, and even sometimes going out in public could be difficult for me. I was an introvert, so I had to stay to myself like most introverts do, right? Even though introverts are inclined to spend more time by themselves, there is the fact that positive social interactions and getting out of our comfort zone is extremely crucial to our development and our life satisfaction. Once I started to recognize this, I realized that even though I was introverted, I still had the skills and the capabilities of being a socially outgoing person. And this changed my life for the better. And I'm super thankful that I stopped using, oh, I'm an introvert as an excuse to avoid uncomfortable social confrontations or situations in general. I believe that with the right knowledge and some incremental work, everyone can utilize both their extroverted and their introverted traits to get better results overall from life. In this video today, I'm going to be giving you the information about both introversion and extroversion, and also ambiversion from psychologically based sources and also personal experience. I'm trying to highlight the differences of both and how we can utilize the strengths and counter each other's weaknesses by using both. So to start with, introverts. Introverts are the thoughtful observers. They're super focused on their internal world. They're often more, they find more peace in solitude. They tend to be more quiet and they get their energy and recharge from spending time alone. They prefer deep, meaningful one-on-one conversations over like the big casual conversations in a group, and they might sometimes come off as disinterested or shy, but that's just how they interact with the world, and they have super enriched lives, and they can still be nice people. Just because they come off as a little bit, they might come off as standoffish, but it's just a misconception. We all have known that one person we thought was an ass, right? And then we ended up talking to him, and they ended up being super cool. We just got to break the introverts barrier, right? We got to get them comfortable with us, and then they're honestly some of the best people ever. The strengths that introverts tend to have is they're very good at deep thinking and reflection, the ability to concentrate, great listeners, calm demeanor, observant, and they're very independent. Now, on the flip side, the introvert's weaknesses are large social interactions, healthy communication, over reliance on themselves, avoiding attention, being perceived as disinterested, uncomfortability with conflict, and they can sometimes be overwhelmed by highly stimulating environments. Now on to the extroverts. They are the social butterfly who's focused on everything outside of themselves. An extrovert is someone who thrives in lively environments. They draw energy from being around others. And whether they're in a stimulating social gathering or engaging workplace settings, they're able to enjoy the wide variety that social contexts provide. Sometimes they can come off as over enthusiastic or over dominating, but that's just their way with connecting with people, and they're not trying to come off that way. They often bring a large amount of energy with them that can light up any room. We all know that one person who might have seemed kind of like a narcissist at first, but then once we got to know them, we're like, oh, okay, they're just really nice. They like to talk a lot, and we found out they're a really cool person. The strengths of the extroverts are high energy and enthusiasm, leadership skills, adaptability, great networkers, great collaborators, and great communicators. Now, their weaknesses are they might sometimes be over dominating in social interactions, they struggle with being alone, impulsivity, handling sensitive situations, misjudging quiet people, and needing external validation. Now we get to ambiverts, which is the sweet middle ground. Imagine just being somebody who, in any social situation, they can thrive, whether it's quiet, super stimulating, no matter what it is, you're just killing it. Ambiverts are people who utilize both the qualities of introverted people and extroverted qualities, depending on the demands of the situation. They still have tendencies towards being an introvert or extrovert. They just know how to switch gears when they need to. According to a psychologist Jung, as Conklin shows, however, no doubt the bulk of people fall in between these extremes. To describe the middle range of life interests, he has invented the word ambivert. So leaning on to one of our personality types too much can lead us to miss out on the fullness of life. So we want to take a look at the strengths and weaknesses of both. Introverts, they could miss out on developing good relationships, seizing opportunities, and they might fail to communicate properly. But on the other hand, extroverts might be too much for people to handle. They might fail to actually get to know themselves, and they can struggle with not thinking things through. Trying to find the middle ground of ambiversion is the solution to either personality type's problems. If an introvert can pick up some extroverted qualities, they're much better suited for any type of situation and they can make a lot more progress in life. The same is true for extroverts. The key is you want to develop your weaker side and prevent yourself from being boxed in by your personality type. So the way to develop a balanced personality is there's a couple steps in it. For me, this is my personal recommendation to start developing the traits that you want. We want to begin with number one, journaling. If you're new here, welcome to step one. And if you read my stuff or watched my stuff before, you already know, welcome back to step one. Everything I start with is journaling. If you don't have a notebook or a journal at this point, go and get one right now and then come back. But now that we're all on the same page, we want to start by identifying if you lean more towards being an introvert or an extrovert. And then we want to think which situations do we thrive in and which ones could we do better in. Try and think of real examples that you've actually been in so then you can be like, oh, okay, maybe I was being introverted there or vice versa, right? So, which traits from the other type would you benefit from working on? And that's another prompt to get you started, right? You just want to think about basic things like that to write about. And overall, you're identifying, all right, what do we need to work on, strengths and weaknesses, and that's the focus here. Then you want to start developing the skills. This one is specifically for extroverts. So if you're an extrovert and you struggle with solitude, right, you're gonna want to work on not needing to be around people as much. You need to be comfortable just spending time with yourself and just practicing solitude because that's where you're able to reflect, get some self-direction, and really just think things through. For this, I would recommend meditation or picking up a solo hobby. These both provide good space for the inner work and just self-development. Some extroverts also, while they're really nice, no shade here, sometimes they can talk way too much and they're just completely unaware of it. So learning how to be a better listener is extremely beneficial. In the words of Dale Carnegie, you can make more friends in 2 months by becoming interested in other people than you can in 2 years by trying to get other people interested in you. People love to feel interesting. A wise person knows this and they're able to put the spotlight on someone else. And the last thing that an or extrovert might need to work on is their need for external validation. This can be extremely rewarding, which is usually why people develop the needs or the tendencies to pursue external validation. But you kind of just get stuck on a hamster wheel of always like needing the next approval, and you're never really happy, right? So, what I recommend for this would be positive affirmation. So you can just be like, I'm confident, I am strong, I am independent, and I've seen a lot of things on affirmations. My biggest thing I always say is don't lie to yourself. If you're not someone who's confident or if you're not independent, you want to say things like, I am working on being confident. I am attempting to be more self-reliant or independent, right? Um, yeah, because we don't want to lie to ourselves. We're trying to be honest here and become the person that we want to be. And so I would recommend just setting an alarm on your phone for like once a day, say your affirmations and do it for at least a month and see what happens. Now on to developing the skills for the introvert side. So if you're an introvert, I would highly recommend the YouTube channel Charisma on Command. They take famous people as examples of them talking and in conversations. and they break down how like what exactly they're doing in the social situation because a lot of times introverts struggle with basic stuff like that, right? So it's a really good YouTube channel for introvert or really anyone looking to work on their communication skills. Highly recommend Charisma on Command. But we also want to start going out more in general and becoming more comfortable with having people's attention under stimulating circumstances. So you could start out really small by like going to the store and just talking to the workers, and then work your way up to talking to other people, and then talking to people in like a bar or a club scene, right? Um, Again, introverts tend to do things alone, so in these situations, it could be nice to seek support. Maybe have a friend go with you to a bar, practice conversation with, two-on-two approach or whatever you got to do, but seek help if you need it. And the last thing to work on for introverts is expressing the ideas. I highly recommend reading, writing, and recording videos. Personally, since I've started my blog and my YouTube channel, I've noticed that in social situations, I'm much more, well, getting much better at expressing myself and clearly stating my ideas. So just practice doing this stuff. If you want to practice just regular journaling about your day, record presentations on things that you're interested in, and read good books from some of the great writers, right? You start to do this stuff, it'll get you speaking your mind a lot better, and just practice over time makes perfect. Another thing we want to do when it comes to adjusting our traits is we want to set measurable goals. So now that we know the skills we want to develop, we want to start to set measurable goals in order to start improving on them. And the reason I highlight measurable is because you don't want to say something vague like, I'm going to talk to people every day. Because, you talk to one person or whatever, right? You don't really have like a clear thing to hit. But if you say, I want to talk to two people every day, you're able to clearly measure, like, okay, today I talked to two people. Today I only talked to one. I need to like work on it or whatever. Or today I talked to four people. I blew it out of the water, right? This just helps us observe how we're doing, and it makes it much easier to track the progress, right? We also want to have it for like a set period of time, so for like a month. And then really important thing to do is we do not want to move the goalposts while we're doing this. If you set a goal for a month to be every day I want to talk to two people, you need to keep it at two people. You don't want to move it like say you did 2 weeks and you talk to two people every day, and then you're like, oh, okay, I think I can do three, or I think I can do four. You don't want to do that because then you're moving the goalpost for success. If you define a goal, stick with it, and then redo the goal afterwards, and just yeah, consistently meet your goals, readjust when you need to, keep up with them, and watch the results happen. The final thing that we'll need to be shifting towards ambiversion is situational awareness. So now we've been working on everything, we've journaled about it, we got our goals, we know we have our practices for developing our skills. We want to make sure we're starting to be situationally aware. So certain things are going to call for extroverted traits, certain things are going to call for introversion. It's just on you to start to realize, okay, I have a good inner sense of self, and I'm also really good at talking to people. What does this situation need? Now that you're social superhuman, you're able to learn through trial and error. You're gonna mess up, so that's okay. But you're gonna learn through trial and error, and you'll continuously become better at engaging with people in different types of environments. So in conclusion, we talked about what an introvert is, what an extrovert is, and what an ambivert is. I gave you clear practices and steps on how to develop whichever traits you have, whether you're an introvert or an extrovert. And overall, I provided my personal take on it, psychological based evidence, and an overall guide to becoming more of an ambivert. So I hope you found this knowledge to be useful and beneficial. I hope you're looking forward to getting out there and developing whatever side you need to do. As always, best of luck on your journey to fulfillment. I appreciate y'all stopping in and checking out. Make sure you check out the blog if you haven't yet, and also press that subscribe and like button. Thanks, everybody. Take care.